There's a country where you can legally eat breakfast at a Muslim food stall, get blessed by a Hindu priest at lunch, and attend a Chinese temple festival at night, all without anyone thinking you're crazy. And no, it's not some fictional utopia. Malaysia has 11 things that literally no other country on earth does. And number 7 will make you question why your country hasn't copied this yet. I lived there for 6 months, and by week 3, I stopped trying to explain it to people back home because they thought I was exaggerating. But I wasn't. Malaysia operates on a completely different operating system than the rest of the world. And once you see how it works, you can't unsee it. But wait. Before we begin, please subscribe to ensure that you never miss out on any of my essential stuff. Comment, "I subscribe," below, and I will personally welcome you to our community. With that said, let's get started. Let's count down from the least shocking to the most mind-bending. Number 11. Malaysia has unofficial government offices that operate from midnight to 4 a.m., and they're disguised as food stalls. Meet Uncle Ramon. He's 58, owns a mamak stall in Bangsar, Kuala Lumpur. Between the hours of 1 and 3 a.m., his outdoor restaurant transforms into Malaysia's real decision-making hub. He's witnessed 3 business partnerships form, 2 political debates get settled, and 1 marriage proposal, all at his plastic tables while serving roti canai and teh tarik. This is mamak culture. 24/7 Muslim Indian food stalls that function as Malaysia's third space, where religion, race, and class dissolve over affordable food and caffeine. According to the Malaysian Food Culture Index from 2023, Malaysia has 1 mamak stall per 284 people. That's a higher density than Starbucks has in Seattle. But here's the twist. Seating is communal. You don't get your own table unless the place is empty. Politicians, CEOs, and taxi drivers literally share tables because there's an unwritten rule. Your job title, your bank account, your race, your religion, it all stays at the door. I watched a government minister argue with a college student about tax policy at 2 a.m. over roti canai. And neither one pulled rank. The student called the minister's policy stupid. The minister laughed and bought him another round of teh tarik. Try finding that in Washington, D.C., or London, or Tokyo. But this radical equality has a dark side that becomes obvious at sunrise. Number 10. Pick up any receipt in Malaysia. Look closely. You'll see the same information printed in 3 languages, Malay, English, and Chinese characters. Not optional. Mandatory. The Language Diversity Implementation Act from 1971 requires all official documents, signage, and commercial receipts to display trilingual information. Every single one. Siti Nurhalisa is 29, works as a graphic designer in Kuala Lumpur. Her job is to design product packaging that fits 3 completely different scripts, Latin alphabet, JavaScript, Chinese characters, in the same visual space without it looking like a ransom note. It's a creative nightmare, she told me. But it forces elegant design. You can't be lazy. You have to make it work. And here's the deeper meaning. This isn't inclusivity theater. This is structural anti-discrimination. You literally cannot exclude minority populations if their language is printed on every Coca-Cola can, every government form, every McDonald's menu. UNESCO's 2024 Linguistic Rights Index ranks Malaysia number 3 globally for institutional language equity. Above Switzerland, above Canada, above Belgium. Imagine if every Walmart receipt in the US was printed in English, Spanish, and Mandarin. The Reddit meltdown alone would crash servers. But Malaysia took this language obsession to an extreme that actually changed human brain structure. Number 9. What if I told you Malaysia accidentally created a nationwide IQ boosting program without meaning to? By age 12, the average Malaysian child speaks 3 to 4 languages fluently. Bahasa Malaysia is mandatory in public schools. English is the language of business and higher education. Then there's your mother tongue at home, Mandarin, Tamil, whatever your family speaks. plus regional dialects you pick up from friends. Ain Sophia is 24, works as a data analyst in Petaling Jaya. I sat in on one of her team meetings. In a single 5-minute conversation, she switched between 4 languages without pausing, without thinking, like her brain had multiple operating systems running simultaneously. I don't even notice anymore, she said. It's just how we talk. The National University of Singapore published a neuroplasticity study in 2023. They found that multilingual Malaysian children show 34% higher executive function scores compared to monolingual peers. 28% better problem-solving under pressure. Compare that globally. Japan's English proficiency ranking is 87th. Malaysia, 26th, beating France, Italy, and Spain despite being a developing nation. Malaysian kids aren't genetically smarter. They're just forced into cognitive crossfit from birth because survival requires it. If you can't speak your Malay friend's language, your Chinese neighbor's language, and English for school, you're socially isolated. But this brain advantage creates a problem no economist. Number 8. Malaysia loses 300,000 skilled workers every year to Singapore, Australia, the US, and the UK. It's one of the highest brain drain rates in Asia. But here's the twist. 40% of them come back within 5 years. That's the highest return rate in Southeast Asia. The OECD migration data from 2024 shows Malaysia's boomerang migrant rate is 41%. Compare that to the Philippines at 12%, Indonesia at 8%, India at 6%. Dr. Farahani is 36, a neurosurgeon. She left Malaysia for Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, trained there for 4 years, made $340,000 a year, came back to Kuala Lumpur. Now she makes $68,000. I know the math doesn't make sense, she told me. But my $68,000 here buys a 2,400 square foot condo, a car, domestic help to manage the house, and I live 15 minutes from my parents. In Baltimore, I had a 600 square foot studio apartment and saw my family once a year on Christmas. This is what economists call quality of life to income ratio. Malaysia's low cost of living creates lifestyle arbitrage that Singapore and the US simply cannot match. The MIT Cost of Living Satisfaction study from 2023 found that Malaysian returnees report 4.2 times higher life satisfaction per dollar earned compared to Malaysian expats who stayed abroad. Imagine earning 1/5 the salary but living better. That's the Malaysia glitch. But the government created one policy so controversial, 30% of the country still wants to abolish it. Number 7. Malaysia has racial quotas for university admissions, business licenses, and government contracts. On paper, this is discrimination. And somehow, it prevented ethnic cleansing. The Bumiputera policy, established in 1971, gives ethnic Malays preference for education spots, subsidized housing loans, and business permits. It's affirmative action on steroids. Chinese and Indian Malaysians call it unfair. Malay Malaysians call it necessary reparations. Everyone's mad. Lim Wei Chen is 41, runs a tech startup in Penang. He's ethnically Chinese. As a Chinese Malaysian, the system frustrated the hell out of me, he said. I had to work twice as hard to get business permits. My Malay competitors got cheaper loans. But here's the thing, I'm still here. I'm still building. In Indonesia during the 1998 riots, they massacred Chinese Indonesians, burned their shops. In Myanmar right now, they're committing genocide against the Rohingya. Frustrated beats murdered. The Comparative Ethnic Violence Index from Harvard Kennedy School in 2023 backs this up. Malaysia's post-independence ethnic violence rate is 0.23 per 100,000 population. Indonesia's is 4.7. Sri Lanka's is 8.3. Here's the paradox. The policy pisses everyone off equally. And apparently, stable resentment prevents explosive violence. It's not perfect. It's not fair. But it prevented what happened in Rwanda, in Yugoslavia, in Myanmar. Sometimes good enough to avoid genocide is the best outcome available. But there's one Malaysian invention that's so perfectly designed, other countries tried to copy it and failed spectacularly. Number 6. Malaysia has the only highway system in the world where you can pay tolls using 3 different methods depending on which lane you're in, and somehow there's less traffic. Touch and Go RFID tags, Smart Tag infrared sensors, manual cash lanes. All 3 systems running simultaneously at every single toll plaza. Rashid Ahmad is 47, works in logistics, drives from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore every week. Malaysia's highways are faster than Singapore's, he said, even though Singapore is supposedly more developed. Why? Optionality. You're never stuck in one system. If RFID fails, you switch to SmartTag. If that's down, you pay cash. You always have a backup. The Malaysian Highway Authority published data in 2024 showing the average toll plaza wait time is 12 seconds. Thailand, which uses a single electronic system, averages 34 seconds. Indonesia averages 56 seconds. It looks messy. It feels redundant. But it's resilient. The Systems Resilience Institute at ETH Zurich published a study in 2023 proving that multimodal infrastructure reduces single point of failure risk by 67%. If you've ever been stuck in a 2-mile backup because the EasyPass system crashed and there's no cash option, you understand why Malaysia's inefficiency is actually genius. But Malaysia's real infrastructure miracle isn't roads. It's something in the sky that breaks physics. Number 5. The Petronas Towers shouldn't exist. Every structural engineer who consulted on the project said building them was impossible. Malaysia built them anyway. The problem: Kuala Lumpur sits on soft limestone. You can't drive traditional deep foundations into that soil. It won't support the weight of 88-story skyscrapers. The solution: they didn't dig deeper. They invented a friction pile system that spreads the building's weight horizontally across a wider area instead of driving it vertically into unstable bedrock. IR. Azmi Hassan is 62 now. He was one of the structural engineers on the project. Every Western consultant told us it would collapse within 10 years, he said. We finished construction in 1998. It's 2025. Still standing. Still the tallest twin towers in the world. But here's the engineering magic nobody talks about. That skybridge connecting the 2 towers at the 41st floor? It's not The Journal of Structural Engineering published a study in 2022 explaining that the skybridge acts as a tuned mass damper. It reduces sway by 40% compared to similar height buildings without connecting bridges. The 2 towers move together, not against each other. They're engineered to behave like a tuning fork. One vibrates, the other absorbs and redistributes the energy. Malaysia looked at impossible and said, we'll engineer around it. But the most Malaysian thing isn't what they built. It's what they do with public holidays. Number 4. Malaysia has 28 to 32 public holidays per year depending on which state you live in. That's more than any country on earth. And the economy is growing. Federal holidays, state holidays, Muslim holidays, Hindu holidays, Buddhist holidays, Christian holidays, replacement holidays when a holiday falls on a weekend. It's absolute chaos. Kavitha Suresh is 33, works as an HR manager for a company with 400 employees across 5 states. It's a nightmare, she laughed. Penang has different holidays than Johor. Selangor has different holidays than Sabah. I'm managing leave calendars that look like Tetris on hard mode. But here's the weird thing. Productivity didn't drop. People just work around it. The International Labor Productivity Report from 2024 shows Malaysia's GDP per hour worked rose 3.2% annually from 2020 to 2024, despite the holiday increases. The theory: frequent short breaks prevent burnout better than 2-week annual vacations where you're exhausted by the time you get back. The Workplace Psychology Journal from the University of Melbourne published research in 2023 showing that workers with 6 or more distributed holidays per year show 22% lower stress hormones than workers with only 2 to 3 long vacations. Your country gives you 10 days off per year and calls it generous. Malaysia gives you 30, and the economy doesn't collapse. Who's doing it wrong? But Malaysia's weirdest invention has nothing to do with holidays. It's in your kitchen right now, and you don't even know it's Malaysian. Number 3. Malaysia invented the global cooking oil that environmentalists hate, vegans avoid, and every processed food on Earth contains. And they're weirdly proud of it. Malaysia produces 39% of the world's palm oil, according to the Malaysian Palm Oil Council in 2024. That's more than 19 million tons annually. The controversy is loud: deforestation, orangutan habitat destruction, unsustainable. But here's what nobody talks about. Malaysia created the world's first mandatory sustainability certification for an entire agricultural industry. Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil, MSPO, isn't optional. If you're a palm oil producer in Malaysia, you either get certified or you shut down. Noor Azman is 51, a third-generation palm oil farmer in Johor. My grandfather cleared rainforest to plant palm, he told me. I replant it. We now maintain 30% forest cover on our plantation by law. Try finding a soybean farmer in Iowa who does that. The Rainforest Alliance conducted an audit in 2024. MSPO-certified plantations show 42% higher biodiversity than non-certified plantations and 68% lower soil erosion. And here's the inconvenient truth that environmentalists hate: banning palm oil doesn't save rainforests. It just shifts production to soybean oil and sunflower oil, which require 4 to 10 times more land for the same yield. Palm oil is the most land-efficient oil crop on the planet. Malaysia just sucks at public relations. But Malaysia's most controversial invention isn't environmental. It's social. And it's changing how humans mate. Number 2. Malaysia's government runs official matchmaking programs for Muslims. And they track success rates like a Silicon Valley startup. The Islamic Development Department, JAKIM, organizes marriage preparation courses, matchmaking camps, and compatibility events specifically designed to help single Muslims find spouses. Aisha Zainal is 28, an accountant in Kuala Lumpur. She met her husband at a government-run marriage prep course 2 years ago. It's not arranged marriage, she clarified. It's facilitated introduction. They teach communication skills, financial planning, religious compatibility. Then you decide if you want to pursue it. Nobody forces anything. JAKIM's annual report from 2023 shows they facilitated 18,400 marriages that year. 73% of those couples are still married after 5 years, compared to a 64% national average. The Journal of Family Psychology published research in 2024 showing that structured introduction programs reduce divorce rates by 12 to 18% compared to purely organic dating. Here's the cultural logic. Western dating apps like Tinder and Bumble optimize for engagement, not marriage. Swipes, matches, dopamine hits. Malaysia's system optimizes for long-term compatibility from day one. Imagine if Match.com was run by your government, staffed with religious counselors, and completely free. That's Malaysia. And before you laugh, their divorce rate is lower than the US, the UK, and most of Europe. But the number one most uniquely Malaysian thing isn't a policy or a building. It's something you can't see, but you'll feel it within 10 minutes of landing. Number 1. Malaysia has a social operating system that runs in the background of daily life. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. They call it Rojak economics, named after the Malaysian mixed fruit salad. It's the informal practice of spreading wealth and ownership across ethnic lines through mandated business partnerships. Here's how it works. If you want a government contract, your company needs Malay, Chinese, and Indian partners, or at minimum, ownership diversity that reflects the population. Major property developments require multi-ethnic investor groups. Even hawker stall clusters are designed by municipal planners to be ethnically mixed. Tan Chong Keat is 44, a property developer in Johor Bahru. "I'm Chinese," he said. "My business partner is Malay. My lead architect is Indian." It wasn't idealism. It's literally required for licensing. But here's what nobody tells you. It worked. We understand 3 different customer bases, 3 different professional networks, 3 different cultural leverage points. We're better than our competitors because we're forced to be diverse. Walk through any Malaysian commercial district. Count the ethnicities running businesses. It's never homogeneous. That's not an accident. That's urban design. The World Bank's Inclusive Growth Index from 2024 ranks Malaysia 14th globally in economic participation equity, ahead of Canada, Germany, and Australia. The London School of Economics published a diversity economic study in 2023. They found that Malaysian companies with enforced multi-ethnic ownership show 27% higher innovation rates than homogeneous companies in comparable markets. Singapore forced ethnic integration through public housing policy. Malaysia forced it through business ownership. Both strategies worked. But Malaysia's approach created an owner class that's multi-ethnic, not just a multi-ethnic workforce. And here's the brutal logic. You can't genocide your business partner's ethnic group. You can't discriminate against your co-investor's religion. You can't dehumanize the community that's legally entitled to 30% of your company's equity. It's not perfect. Resentment exists. Corruption happens. Ethnic tensions flare up. But compared to the ethnic wars in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Rwanda, Yugoslavia, Malaysia chose forced economic cooperation over forced separation. And 65 years after independence, it's still standing. That midnight mamak stall where the government minister argued with a college student over roti canai? That's not just tolerance. That's engineered interdependence. That's the result of decades of policies designed to make ethnic conflict economically irrational. So let's review. 11 things no other country does. A 24-hour food democracy where class disappears at 2 a.m. Mandatory trilingual receipts on every transaction. An accidental nationwide cognitive enhancement program. A reverse brain drain powered by lifestyle arbitrage. Controversial affirmative action that prevented genocide. Redundant infrastructure that's more reliable than streamlined systems. Impossible architecture that's still standing 27 years later. Strategic holiday chaos that boosts productivity. The world's most efficient oil that everyone loves to hate. Government-run matchmaking with better outcomes than dating apps. And forced multi-ethnic capitalism that makes ethnic violence economically stupid. Malaysia doesn't solve problems elegantly. It solves them pragmatically. And pragmatic solutions are often messy, controversial, and ugly, until you compare them to the alternative. Every country looks at Malaysia's policies and says, that would never work here. Malaysia looks back and says, it barely works here. But the alternative was civil war. Here's what I want to know. Which of these 11 things would cause a total meltdown if your country tried it? Mandatory multilingual receipts? Government dating services? 30 public holidays? Forced business diversity? Pick one from the list, tell me your country, and explain what would happen. Would there be protests? Political collapse? Or would it actually work? I'm ranking the best answers. And if you're from Malaysia, tell us which thing on this list foreigners always get wrong when they try to understand it. Malaysians, educate us in the comments. Because here's the truth. Malaysia figured out how to make diversity functional, not just symbolic. And that might be the most important export they're not selling to